Hey guys, Camper15, back at it with another video for you guys. Back with another My Hero Academia anime episode review. Not manga, not manga. My co-host, if you're wondering, why is he not here? He went to Mexico for the weekend. Why? I have no idea. But hey, listen, that's his thing he has to do. So he gets to enjoy Mexico. In the meantime, I'm over here stationed in probably a monsoon. If you don't know what's going on out here on the West Coast, man. Non-stop rain, bro. Non-stop rain. Anyways. We got a great episode. Dare I say, was this the best episode of My Hero Academia? Holy shit. Man, the haters are so mad about this week's episode, right? They gotta be mad about this week's episode. The animation was flames. Just everything in this episode was great. The fight was amazing. The storytelling in this episode was amazing. Oh my gosh, this episode was perfect. It was honestly a 10 out of 10 episode for me, man. It was a 10 out of 10 episode. This episode was phenomenal. I enjoyed every single bit of this freaking episode that was My Hero Academia Season 6. Again, the season showing why Season 6 will probably be the best season of the entire series. And yes, I read the manga and I know what to expect ahead of time, and especially what's currently going on in the manga right now. But man, I don't care. Season 6 is going to be the best season of My Hero Academia. It's going to be the most peak season of My Hero Academia, and things like that, because this part of the story was literally like the height of like the storytelling, with the war arc and then the post-war arc and then this dark vigilante Deku arc, man. I'm telling you, man. Now listen, the stuff you'll get past Season 6, it's still good outside of a few issues here and there, and things like that, which, you know, to me, very interesting when we get to Season 7 eventually, whenever that happens, when there's going to be a certain moment that obviously a lot of people have critiqued about. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's going to be a big freaking critique about a story point that not a lot of people may like. I can't wait to see what people will think about that when that eventually is out in the open. But, you know, I didn't like it myself, but it is what it is. Regardless, this week's episode of My Hero Academia was absolutely amazing. We get the continuation of Deku versus Lady Nagant in this fight, man. You get frickin' Fox 100% one for all. You get frickin' the backstory of Lady Nagant, which you find out the reason why she ends up becoming the villain she is, which again sucks that my co-host isn't here, but I digress, you know. And then you get that plot twist in the fact of, you know, All For One turning on Lady Nagant, and then frickin' Deku looking like a man on a effing mission right then and there to just stop All For One like crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. And man, by the time when we got to like the halfway part of the episode, I was just like, oh my god, is this only the halfway part? We only got a whole another half to watch, and we still had a lot of chunk of time, and the fight was still going on. So that's kind of the thing. And in the meantime, let's get to the episode. So Deku, he's pretty much moving all over the place and everything. Oh, actually, no. We start the episode off, you know, when All Might got attacked. As you remember from last week, he got bombed, I guess you could say. He got attacked. You know, so we find out he ends up dodging, getting out the way of this little grenade or something like that. And it's these like two, I guess, villain characters that must have been sent out to get a hit on All Might, but that don't matter, bro. All Might steps out of his car, and these villains have a feeling like, oh, it's All Might. He's skinny, man. We won't be able to take him down, bro. All Might's sheer will, how might I say it? His aura, he was exuberating, man. Was just like, I don't care what you do. I'm not going to let that boy get hurt. And if that happens, then that's going to be over my cold, dead body. And he gave that look with some serious, like, you better get the frick out the way. I don't care if I'm in my weak and say, I'll still kick your ass, pretty much. Which is absolutely crazy. Funny enough, I watched somebody else's review, and somebody looked at comment on their channel and said, that man All Might use Conqueror's hockey. I'm like, Hey, he might as well did. He might as well did, bro. All Might, just to show you, man, that this man is just determined because he obviously has a sense of reason to protect Deku and things like that. Again, you get the whole foreshadowing vibes with you get the whole foreshadowing vibes with All Might's potentially dying. I still predict that All Might will eventually die. I say he will sacrifice his life for Deku, and things like that. Now, when that happens, who knows? Who knows? But anyways, that's kind of the thing. We get back to the Lady Nagant versus Deku fight. Deku's just going all over the place. Again, we know he's trying to cut the distance between him and Lady Nagant so he can get closer and get up range and put things with her. But eventually, we have it to where Lady Nagant shoots another bullet. Deku ends up barely, like, freaking getting past it. But we see he gets nicked up by these bullets and things like that. But he realizes that Lady Nagant is using the airwalk quirk All for One gave her. And obviously, this changes things for him. So he goes down. He starts freaking just letting out freaking smoke screen like crazy. And then he starts jumping up and down and things like that, which it was actually pretty shocking. I was wondering how they were going to show off the Faux quirk and what the Faux quirk was going to look like. At first, I thought in the opening when he does his like T-pose and then he freaking you know, all the electricity exuberates off him. I originally thought, okay, that's maybe what Faux looks like. No, it doesn't. Faux does not look like that in the anime. The anime, I guess right now, I guess the Faux quirk. It's red, obviously, because the third user of All for One. I guess his vestige color is red. And we just see how it only affects one part of his body, but we see how with Faux, man, with Faux, practically he stores up a bunch of kinetic energy in an area of his body. So we see how he was jumping up and down to get started, and the fact that, you know, even the third user's like, I don't know if you should use this quirk, man. I don't think you're ready for this. But Deku's like, listen, dude, I have no other options left. If I want to survive this battle, I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to use this damn quirk. And we see how Deku uses his brains to distract Lady Nagant by throwing away some of his, you know, items away. And he just comes up from the building to get close up and attack her right then and there. But even then, that doesn't matter. But you see how this whole thing, in this whole fight, it's practically Lady Nagant, you know, because there's a part where Deku was just, he was like right then and there, and he was just dodging attacks. And Lady Nagant's like, listen, man, I don't understand why you have like this hope of a hero. The hero society is pretty much screwed over and things. And that's when we get into Lady Nagant's backstory, which is actually a pretty tragic backstory. We practically find out that pretty much, you know, Lady Nagant says, listen, man, listen, kid, you don't understand hero society, man. They just tell you what to do and you have to do it. So we practically find out, like, you know, there was like these group of heroes that was working alongside this villain organization, and it was kind of like, oh, you help me out, I'll help you out, and things like that. You'll get the good press as long as you make us do what we need to do and things like that. And Lady Nagant wasn't down with that, and then she later goes on to say how like the Hero Safety Commission was getting in on this. Practically, she was forced into a situation where she had no ultimate say. Pretty much the Hero Safety Commission, they said, hey, we want you to do this, and, you know, we'll just report this and things like that. And guess what? That's what would happen, even though that's not the right thing that would happen. And we later find out that Lady Nagant was absolutely so freaking sick of it, and everything. You get this great scene, which I'm absolutely shocked they showed that one panel where she ended up, where the Hero Safety Commissioner at the time, I'm guessing, he pretty much said, hey, there's these villains and things like that, you gotta go kill these guys and finish them off. Just like literally, just go kill them. We don't need them anymore. And you just have this crazy scene where you just see Lady Nagant covered in blood after killing these villains. Killing these villains and everything, which I was actually shocked they actually showed the scene. Like, they actually showed the scene where her entire body was covered in blood, man. I thought they would find some way to censor that. Like, I'm saying, like, maybe they just put like a scrape of blood on her face or something like that. But they did, like, her entire outfit was covered in blood, and I was like, wow, Props to Studio Bones. They did not censor that part. I thought they would, but they did not. But we practically see how Lady Nagant, she was fed up with being told what to do from the Hero Safety Commission just to do it. So then when the papers come, it prints out to make it look like, oh, the heroes did something so good, so right, so, you know, heroic. But really, truly behind the scenes, they were doing the Hero Society was truly effed up in terms of certain heroes and things like that. Now, we don't know if all the other heroes were in on this. You would have to envision that All Might was probably not in on this. And it seems like, you know, she worked for this secret agency like Hawks is, because we find out later in the episode that Hawks was her replacement. So she must have been working in this like secret like hero agency, and they just print out this news. But you get this crazy scene where, you know, she's just talking to the public. These kids come up to her and they're like, "Hey, Lady Nagant, can we freaking shake your hand?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And she sticks her hand out, and then she just remembers the trauma she got from killing those people, and she's like, "I'm not doing the right effing thing here. They're telling me to do these things, but these things are not heroic. This is not what Hero Society should be." Hold on a quick second, guys. All right, my bad. All right, back. Anyways, Lady Nagant, yes, Lady Nagant. So, we see how she clearly did not like how Hero Society was operating in terms of the standpoint of how things are being handled, and we see how she confronts the commissioner, I guess at the time, and she ends up killing him because she wasn't down with that. But like I said, she was traumatized and everything, because when the kids came up to try to shake her hands, she was like, "I'm not doing the right thing. This is not what a hero should do, because these kids are going to look up to me. They want to be what I am, but in reality, they're going to get this harsh reality." And we find out that Lady Nagant was kind of sworn in when she was a kid. Like they said, "Oh, hey, you can have a chance to be a hero," and things like that. And then behind the scenes, she sees what it was really at, and that's why she ended up becoming a villain, because that's kind of thing. And even then, they make a mention like, "Oh yeah, they hid it in the press about what really happened," and things like that. So it's absolutely crazy. And again, it's understandable to see why Lady Nagant went that way, and that's why Deku, he ends up like, so it really isn't black and white. You know, this whole moral code is just gray. So that's kind of thing. Now we get a moment to where Deku sees Chisaki at the same time, because Deku eventually he gets mastered of how Nagant is trajectorying her bullets, and boom, he zooms in, but Lady Nagant freaking goes all out, tries to shoot at Chisaki. Overhaul, and Deku uses Fox 100%. So, you know, with Fajin and everything, he just makes himself a lot faster, and it was absolutely crazy how he managed to move Chisaki out the way. And it shocked Lady Nagant, because, you know, she was trying to put Deku to the test. She was like, "All right, are you gonna be a real hero and try to protect somebody?" And Deku didn't, push Overhaul out the way. But you see it to where eventually, you know, we see how her gun loads up, her gets stuck up, it gets jammed, so she's practically done. But then Deku pretty much reaches out his hand after he grabs, and he's like, "Listen, you don't have to do this. You can help the heroes." And then like pretty much telling her, "Hey, you can come work with us. You know, you don't have to listen to All for One anymore. You know, I know just based off the bullet, you weren't trying to hurt Chisaki, because if you had really truly aimed for Chisaki, you would have got me practically in the lower extremities, and I would have been down for the count, pretty much. But you didn't do that. So I know there's still a light in you that is still burning to be a hero. It just needs to come out." And, you know, Lady Nagant realizes this, and I remember when I was reading this in the manga, and she's like, and she was about to tell Deku, like, "You're a true hero." But then All for One just mentions and shows you how despicable he truly is by blowing up Lady Nagant right then and there. Hawks and the others come in, you know, and then you have it to where Lady Nagant, seemingly, she looks okay now, but her body is burnt to a crisp. Of course, it makes sense on All for One's standpoint. He would put a failsafe in this whole operation, right then and there. But, you know, if Nagant turned, but yeah, that's kind of thing, you know, Nagant gives away apparently where All For One's hideout is, and yeah, so we get the episode ending off where Deku looks like a man possessed. You see the look in his eyes. He looks like he wants to stop All For One for what he did, but we just have to hope that best girl Lady Nagant is gonna be a-okay, because yeah, I don't want her to go away. I don't want her to die. Also too, we do have another little short interaction with Deku and Shisaki. But Deku's like, listen, I'm willing to fulfill your request that Lady Nagant has in store for you if you go apologize to Eri. Now, I wouldn't bring this guy anywhere close to Eri for what this guy did. And plus, we don't want to give Eri any trauma from that moment because she's a little girl. So, yeah, but really solid episode of My Hero Academia. I just enjoyed this episode. This was arguably, honestly, I could say... It's right now, it's between the Dobby reveal and this episode as my two favorite episodes from season 6, man. Like, it was, those two episodes so far, like my standout episodes, which were just really freaking great, man. As we're ending off the season, you know, things like that. But anyways, I'm the guy for guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of My Hero Academia, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. So, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day. I'll know what you're listening. Peace.